Bitcoin. A bunch of computer code that a bunch of criminals, idealists, and speculators agree is worth real money. Sadly, its real money value swings widely, making it impractical except for criminals, idealists, and speculators. Blockchain. A different bunch of computer code containing an unalterable record of a series of transactions. The most famous is a digital ledger recording all Bitcoin transfers. Those definitions came courtesy of the AARP just a few weeks ago. It is no wonder that there is rampant confusion and misunderstanding. I'm going to offer you a different view. I believe that blockchain has the potential to transform commerce the way the internet transformed communication. Now, why do I think that? I've been working in high tech for over 2 decades. I would tell you the true length of time, but then you'd know how old I am, so I'm not going to do that. I've been part of 2 startups, one of which went bankrupt, totally not my fault. And I have been part of the rise of major technology trends, including wireless and internet-based communications and the cloud. I understand enough about how technology disrupts industries and gets adopted to be dangerously committed to my beliefs and envision a future that is both exciting and, in my view, likely to happen. That AARP definition did get a few things right. Bitcoin is not blockchain, and blockchain is not Bitcoin. They are, in fact, different bunches of code. And Bitcoin is the most famous use case of blockchain, at least today. But blockchain is where the magic happens. It can simplify the complicated, streamline the convoluted, and create transparency and trust. It can transform commerce. I think back to the emergence of email. I was working at a government agency when we were rolling email out and trying to move away from faxes. We had an administrator, and she, for the life of her, could not understand why we would use email. She thought it was silly and duplicative. I should probably mention her job was in large part taking our faxes, copying them, and filing them. So she thought email was duplicative, and it was, if you believe that nothing can be improved. If I had dared, I was young, and she was frankly a little scary, so I didn't dare. But if I had dared, I think I would have said to her, yes, faxes work. But this is going to be better. It's going to reduce friction. It's going to be more reliable. And it's ultimately going to simplify what we do. These days, I'm actually having similar conversations with some of my colleagues when we look at test cases using blockchain. They challenge me on my assertion that blockchain will transform commerce. Because when we look at those test cases, it actually just looks like a streamlined process. Like when you order something from Amazon, you can see exactly where your order is through the process right the way through until it ships to your doorstep. And they're not using blockchain to do that. So my colleagues will ask me, why don't we use a database and some application programming interfaces instead? Won't that work just as well? They're not wrong. My response pretty consistently is yes, that works. But it won't be as simple. You'll need intermediaries, processes, paper, checkers, likely recheckers, all of which limit efficiency and add costs. Blockchain is giving us a new way of exchanging value and conducting commerce, by no means the only way. And much as the internet fundamentally transformed how we communicate, I think blockchain has the potential to fundamentally transform how we exchange value. Why am I so convinced? Because I see similarities between what the internet did and what blockchain can do. It creates simplicity, transparency, speed, and above all, trust. So let's look at what blockchain does and how it does it. When I first started learning about blockchain, I did the usual. I went to presentations, went to webinars, I read a lot. And I found myself thoroughly and undoubtedly confused. I would read and reread a definition that goes something along the lines of the following. Blockchain is a distributed ledger database based on a cryptographic, peer-to-peer network providing a single source of the truth.